So, I'm gonna make this video. First, let me just have a hat note. Promise this is gonna be the last, or one of the last poor quality videos. I meant to make some Match House 3 videos. I can put on to levitating on with Dua Lipa. But after this, a lot of these more walking videos. I'm gonna at least try to put more editing effort into them. This might mean me publishing them at first, taking them down, and then republishing them. I want to have more quality in my videos so that more people are subscribed to me. But it's also pretty busy with high school. They give some intense work out there, so that is why I think that that it's gonna be a bit hard. And while my Match House 3 videos, for example, won't be heavily edited because they don't really necessarily need to be heavily edited, as long as I do a good job playing the game. Those will be some of the more frustrating videos to make, because those videos kind of require, you know, more patience, because I have to be able to do good in them in order to post them. You know, if I do a battle mode, I kind of like have to win in order to do it. I was playing Match House for 15 minutes when I made that YouTube video. But anyway, my unedited content is pretty much gonna stop right now, unless I'm just in a pinch for a video. So, one thing I want to talk about is how in the Northeast, fall has came. So, right now it's currently 4:12 p.m. So, generally you'd expect the temperature to kind of, well, it's 57. You'd kind of expect it to be a few degrees warmer. The low tonight was actually a bit above normal at 49, with a wind chill of 44. The high today got to, I think, like 61. It was pretty cold today, especially given what we recently had dealt with. Now, Sunday, Sunday was actually quite cool, but still warmer than today. I think the high got up to 63 or 64 with a low of about 52. Saturday was actually the day the front came through, so the high actually got up to 74, but it plummeted down to the lower 60s by midnight, which is of course when the low is going to be on these storm kind of days. That's why I sometimes don't like to mention them, because it kind of can be arbitrary, just because station readings may not necessarily pick it up, and it could be in a bit of contention when you have these cycles. A good example is this June 10th. It was in the lower 70s, even into the mid 70s at night, when the natural low was, because this was the fifth warm night in a pattern of nights where it kept getting into the upper 60s, if not low 70s at night, and it was a very warm trend. The first day of the warm trend was actually the Saturday before. It did hit the lower 60s at night, though, just that it warmed up into the upper 80s. And in this pattern, if the actual temperatures didn't get to the upper 80s, they at least got into the mid 80s. The feels like definitely got at least into the upper 80s. And the day before, we had a low of 71 and a high of 91. It feels like a high of 90. It feels like got up to 98 degrees, which is completely staggering. And it was definitely one of the warmer days. A lot of these days suffered dew points in the about 73, which is pretty humid and pretty oppressive. Although we have, of course, seen worse. There was a day with a 96 temperature and a 110 feels like, and the dew point of 76 is completely oppressive. But yeah. But this day was then weird, because the high only got to about 81, which it wasn't humid too, unlike the last day where it got to, I think, 83, where it was kind of similar. But that day was humid enough to have it feel like 89 degrees out there. This day felt like about 82 with humidity. It wasn't really that much. And that night would see a dry cold front come through, so the temperatures would plummet to how cold? Was it 63? Was it 64? See, that's kind of why I don't like to do it, because your low point isn't being hit naturally. And another time is when pretty wet cold front, a pretty disastrous cold front spawned 2 tornadoes near here, moved through on April 21st. This is a bit more noteworthy though, because the low that night was, I think, 52. When you have it by highs and lows, but that day was capped off at 60, which that here had been a bit warmer than normal, and this day would end at, because it was only a single degree above normal. Then catastrophe struck as a storm hit. Temperatures immediately began to plummet as a result, hitting 40 or 39 by midnight. We know it definitely got to either 35 or 34 in the morning, probably 35. That's just something that's annoying but still happens. But now we can begin to see how we don't hit their natural low point. I think that Saturday had a low of 61, but it can be quite irritating to tell. That morning, Saturday morning, got to 65, by the way. So, yeah, I always do find it interesting how that's really works. Always have, always will. Now my channel is getting a view. I think it's in the middle of a view process, so I hope I don't miss my channel. That would be a very, very big shame. So I'm just gonna try to get done with it rapidly. So the Friday before had a high of 70 to 79, upper 70s, felt like summer, and then again lows in the lower 60s. It was pretty much like full on summer. So, the warm period actually began in early October. October 1st got down to 49 with a high of like 70, and then October 2nd had a low, I think, of about 50, and then a high of, I don't know, like 73. And then that though had a low of 55, which the nights will occasionally have 55 with a high of 79. And then from there, it became warm nights. Even if you occasionally had a cool day, the overarching trend was warm. So this cold front really cooled things down. It might get down to 45 degrees, but temperatures will warm up. Days are gonna get into the lower 70s. Nights are gonna start moving from the mid 40s rapidly into the lower 50s, into the mid 50s. There will be one night with a high of 70 and a low of 57, and then from there, temperature will get the better of us, and we might see days get down to 43. Much of upstate New York will be freezing, but we on Long Island are generally spared from such massive cold events, because the water temperature should still hold up, and considering that's been warm water, it's going to be a bit harder for us to have a full-on cooling effect. We've not only had the cold front on Saturday at only 0.2 inches. We probably could have seen a bit more. One on Sunday though that bailed up any precip, and those clouds are blowing, so we could potentially have one today. Okay, thank you for watching.